right, well, meantime, are we sitting on a bubble? By most measures, the U.S. economy is doing great. The Dow at record highs and trading north of 18,000, a big boost for millions of Americans' 401ks. The employment picture continues to improve. 321,000 jobs added in November, the most in nearly 3 years. The overall economy grew by a very robust 5% last quarter, the best showing in 11 years. And gas prices are continuing their dive south. The national average of $2.28 a gallon is 50 cents less than a month ago and more than $1 less than a year ago. But not everyone is putting on their party hat, because some analysts are not convinced the economy is truly that strong. One noted financial expert saying it's actually quite weak and is being propped up by the Federal Reserve's easy cash flow and low interest rates, saying, quote, the average consumer has way too much debt, household net worth has declined, real wages are lower today than they were 5 years ago. I think people are overestimating the shape of the consumer and his ability to spend. It's all a bubble masquerading as a recovery. And many Americans may agree. A new Associated Press poll finds 57%, nearly 6 out of 10 Americans rate the economy as poor. Charles, answer all of those in the order in which I read them.
Okay. Here's the thing. First of all, let's put it in the proper context. We got used to mediocrity after the Great Recession began. This is really, it is true. This is the worst post-recession recovery we've ever had. But when you come out of mediocrity, it feels great. You know, in other words, if it's the only thing that you knew, like if 1% growth was like for the last 4 years and then you get 2% growth, whoa, we've just doubled it. So adjectives or words, you know, you wouldn't necessarily use strong. Okay, we had last month over 300,000 jobs. We had 1 month in the Reagan recovery with a far smaller population where 1 million people were hired in one single month. So people historically know that this is not the greatest of all recoveries, but it is a testament, what we're saying so far, to the American spirit. I think people need to understand capitalism was attacked, success was attacked, achievement was attacked, and we're still hanging in there. There's a tinkerer in his or her garage right now that's working on a product that we'll be buying a year from now, and then the world will be buying 2 years from now. So it's been the American people, particularly small businesses, that have kept us going. And, you know, so I understand where people may have some problems with this. Wages are down from where they were. Household debt has come down, but unfortunately it's because people lost their homes more than anything else.
Okay, my husband is a tinkerer. He is a manufacturer. He actually makes things, and it's, you know, the regulatory environment is very difficult for small business owners. And, you know, we talked about Obamacare a little bit. I want to ask you about Peter Schiff specifically, though, in his comments, because I, like Peter, agree that we should be back on the gold standard. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. He's saying raise rates and take the recession hit. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't mind raise rates. I have no problem with it. I'm not with the Peter Schiff thing. I think, listen, if people sold stocks in March of 2009 and bought gold, it's going to take them 20 years to recover from that mistake. But I don't like the Fed. I wish it didn't exist. I wish the Federal Reserve didn't exist. I don't think it has our best intentions. I think if you look at all the things that have happened from the monetary and fiscal policy, printing money has helped banks. The Fed has been buying junk from major banks, junk. I mean, really toxic junk, and I don't know where they store it. It's like a Yucca mountain, if you will, for financial junk. And in the meantime, Dodd-Frank. Who's gotten hurt by Dodd-Frank? People trying to start a small business. Your husband can't get a loan, but someone who's already established $1 billion business, they're throwing money at these guys. So I don't like fiscal or monetary policy. I wish the Fed was abolished. I love to see them raise rates as soon as possible. I think America could take the hit, but more importantly, I wish they were out of the way. Unfortunately, they are, and it's done more harm, much more harm than good, in my mind.
Charles, a political question for you, because 67% of people say when they're polled, they don't think that the new GOP Congress is going to make the economy any better. And then you have 6 in 10 saying, well, Barack Obama's not going to either. So just politically, what can the Republicans do now that they're in power to instill some confidence? Because that's part of what you want out there. You want a positive, optimistic sense that people can, that they're going to be able to look to better policy that's going to help them out.
We all understand why people are cynical. There's no doubt about it. You know, listen, you have the rise of the Tea Party because the Republicans under George Bush spent more money than they should have spent. They became the party that most Republicans or diehard conservatives didn't recognize. The Republicans now have to be tasked with coming to coming up with bills that people understand. We understand Keystone. Let's get it out there. We understand either repealing or significantly overhauling Obamacare, and we understand lower taxes. Put that on the president's desk. Lower corporate and personal taxes.
Great. Yeah, I just think that when you go and talk to people out in America, in Kansas, in Arizona, in Texas, maybe not Texas. Texas is doing really well.
Although they're starting to cry with these cheap gas prices.
The small business owners are the ones who really are living in mediocrity, and they're barely getting by and surviving. So when they say that the economy's gotten better,
especially in rural areas,
it really has not. When you drive down the street and all the businesses are shuttered, it's a really sad thing to see they haven't come back.
All right, great discussion.